She's 16 years old talking about she pregnant.
Okay.
She not even out of high school yet.
She gonna be okay?
Man, look, I don't need all this pressure right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that.
You barely even here. What pressure?
What are you talking about? I am here. I work. I work 12 hours a day to put a roof over your head. But you never here. You over there with somebody else. Now you bringing back something in the oven.
What?
Come on now.
First of all, it's not even that serious. You're really just making a big deal out of
so
it
it's
because
funny.
you want to hear yourself fuss.
Oh, it's funny now. It's funny.
I'm sorry, Dad.
I mean, you out there with him too. You acting like you young too.
What you mean?
That's why she run around here like that.
Don't
you
do that.
still.
Don't do that.
Okay, you're not about to do too much because y'all had me at the same age.
Exactly. Do you not recall how old we were when we were messing
I
around
understand
when we
that.
had her?
I understand
Do you not
that.
remember?
Yes, I understand that.
Set a better example.
I didn't never think it was gonna be like that, but that's how it is.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So why
Mike said that.
Like
You just
dip
said
the
that.
hand,
And that's what it is.
like dip that hand, so I'm playing my
Nothing
card.
changed 16 years ago. What you mean?
But that don't mean for everybody, every generation keep doing the same thing over and over. I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, but
do you even know who the father is?
I met the boy a couple times. The one that came up from Mother's
See, look at you. Since.
Okay, but she know who the father is.
Oh,
she
dude.
know who her baby daddy
Ain't
is.
even made the first appointment.
Of course she made the appointment. She got an appointment. We got it under control.
Oh, you got it under control.
It's under control. It's
I
under
don't
control.
understand.
She gonna be alright. She gonna graduate.
I don't really know if this is my last time, but what I know is I'm feeling just fine. My life is like a red carpet, and I'm feeling like the richest millionaire. This is my local mayor, and I'm the biggest star around here.
What's happening, fam? LAR movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail, you see the clip. Now, I don't know if that's a skit. I think it's a skit, but I don't know if that's a skit or actual thing that's being filmed. But the reason I'm going to talk about it because I've seen that before. I really have. But it ain't me. Like, I remember my parents were 17 and 18 when I was born. And I had a huge fear of having a baby as a teenager. So I ain't started having sex till I was like 20. But I've seen this idea, I did it, so it's okay. So my kids doing it is not a big deal. I've seen that too many times. And even the idea of, it's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. We got this. It's like, no, you don't got this. The minute one generation repeats the same bad thing from a past generation, it normally goes downhill, and not slowly, just quick. And the reason why I'm gonna say that is, say a 16-year-old girl is pregnant and is having a baby or whatever, and the parents had the kid at that age, right? The problem is what? The dad sounds like an adult and the mom sounds like a teenager. So what's going to happen? They're going to be 32-year-old grandparents, 33-year-old grandparents. Grandma ain't going to take care of that baby. Grandma ain't got you. Grandma ain't got your back. Grandma still wants to be a child. Dad's off working, quote unquote, 12 hours. He might have to, maybe bump it up to 13 or 14 or 15 to cover not only what's going on in the house, but to cover the expenses of the baby. And then what they going to say? What are they going to say? Oh, he worked too much. He always away from home. He ain't really here. He's not supporting us emotionally while they're just doing them. Like, young girl, hey, you got to tell her, hey, homecoming might be off the table. Some of the parties probably off the table. It depends on how it really might get. You got to take into consideration that prom may be off the table. You might have the baby gets sick, or something might happen. You can't go to prom. I'm just saying, it's high school. You don't know what happens. You can't hang out with your friends like you used to. You got a baby. That's what it is. And then when the guy asks, do you know who the dad is? And it was like, she know. And then it's like, well, maybe she don't. And then the mom got, anytime somebody does that, that subtle look away, like, oh, this, I'm trying to roll with this lie, but what that means is that person's gonna bail on you. You know, they're gonna bail on you. So get used to doing stuff alone. And the other thing is this. You got to start telling these people how difficult life is. Like when people say, oh, I had a kid as a teenager and it's going to be okay. No, tell them the whole story. Tell them the whole story. Tell them that, you know, that kid might have been 10 by the time you actually started getting it together and going in the right direction. Like y'all good now. You better tell them how it wasn't really cool. Because if you had a kid at 16, think about it. When I say 10, you 26. But repeating the same cycle over and over and over and over again. And this is the other thing that's problematic. When you have parents at odds about right and wrong. You know, when you have one parent thinks this is right and another parent thinks this is right, and then they're going to fight because nobody's going to say that what they're thinking is wrong. Both sides are going to say they're right. And what you wind up having is a situation where you let a child try to manipulate adults because they go to the side that's right for them at the moment. And you know, some of y'all are being parents. Some of y'all are parents, but y'all suckers because you know what's right for your kid in the long run. And you know, and some of y'all know y'all getting played, and some of y'all know y'all want a certain thing. So y'all want to just get y'all way and y'all team up. Because what I'm saying, the reason I'm saying that is because as you saw in the clip, the mother and the daughter kind of teamed up. Like, see, it's okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay. And they sitting there teamed up. Now, when things go left, and it ain't really as, you know, as good as that team wanted to be, all of a sudden, they're going to turn. They're going to have a change of heart, a change of tune. You know, when daughter say, look, I'm throwing this baby off on mama. You threw me off on grandma, so I'm throwing this baby off on you. Because I don't know if y'all haven't seen that, but I've seen that. I've seen kids raised by their grandparents become parents and throw their kid onto their parent, not even, you know, in a vengeful sense, like I'm gonna do the same thing you did. And you know, some of these parents deal with it, some of them because of the guilt, because yeah, I did do that, you know, and others like, I don't care what I did, you ain't gonna do that to me, and then it's a rift there. But the other thing that's I wouldn't say shocking, but very much so disturbing is I know in those type of situations, it's sad to say this, but whoever the young boy is, the young man is, the young father is, oh, they gonna hold him to some unrealistic standards. Unrealistic standards. And even say if he was raised by a single mother, and I hate to say this, but it for the most part it's true. Baby come home with a baby raised by mom, then you really, if you're at odds with the father, it's like, and if you're cool with the father, it's like you gonna get that conversation. So this is what we doing, huh? Okay. Baby out here making kids, but I know what I'm doing. I got it all under control. And that's the other thing, like, you know, that idea of having it all under control after you blow the situation. You know, you don't have a bad situation under control. You just got to deal with a bad situation. Now you don't know what the future holds in that situation. You're just talking. And that becomes an issue because you're gonna have somebody who's responsible, and normally that responsible person gets the bulk of all of the bulk of the bulk of the weight of that issue on them. It's not gonna be the young mother, because she's still in high school. It's not gonna be the grandmother, because as you can tell, she's still in her thought apparel. You know, the other grandparents, who knows? But the person that's working overly working themselves all the time, I already know. Weight of the world. And that's how it normally plays out. And the problem is what? At the end of the day, a guy like that, he gonna be forgotten. Just like the rest of the granddads back in the day who was doing all the heavy lifting, but because they wasn't in the house, they didn't exist, but they was working 12 hours, you know, working out of the country, getting in the military. Or, you know, we forget all paying for the house, you know, but they wasn't there. Like, oh, okay. the electricity was on? Yeah. The food was in the refrigerator? Yeah. You had a fun childhood? Yeah, well, they was there because they provided all that stuff. It's just you don't put two and two together because you silly and ungrateful. But that's just my perspective. Tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, know I gave you everything I had.